Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Baseball family, welcome to this Sunday edition of the Baseball Together podcast. My name is Brad. I'm here with Mr. Brig wearing his Army hat. I love it. Looks so, especially
Thanks,
looks really good with that Pirates jersey.
I appreciate it, dude. I was sitting here, I put the Pirates jersey on and I was like, wait a minute. I don't have a net neutral cap, like a team neutral cap that would go with it. Then I went, oh yeah, I do.
You do.
It's
Yeah,
like,
looks
I couldn't
good.
wear my other, like my black Cubs hat, right? It's not
Right.
gonna work.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it'd be weird.
it was a
Anyway.
crisis for a second there.
Well, I'm glad that the crisis was averted. I'm glad that you're here. We're going to do emoji
you.
tiers today because it's that time of the month. So for those of you who might be new to the show or watching this bit for the first time, this is our version of power rankings. We go through and rather than going 1 through 30, we just put them into tiers. We have top 3, bottom 3. Top 3 are your diamond tier, your bottom 3 are your poop tier. And then your middle, we have 8, 8, and 8. We have the heart tier, question mark tier, and thumbs down tiers. And as we get it a little bit, I think once we get past the trade deadline, typically these dissolve and become more, there's a little more
Fluid.
anarchy. Yeah. As far as
anarchy.
as far as assigning teams, last year I think you had 10 teams in your poop tier when the season ended. Is that right, Brig?
Yeah, I think it was 10.
Yeah.
I can go back
So
and look.
we'll
but
get
yeah,
there.
Pretty sure.
We'll
Yeah,
get there.
We will.
But for now, we're keeping things nice and tidy and organized. It's not always easy. In fact, sometimes it's hard to justify putting a team in one spot because it doesn't really belong, but because of space constraints and stuff like that, we do it anyway. So here we
Right.
go. Brig, should we start? Should we fart? Should we?
We should.
I
fart.
think since we have
we should.
farts on the
this
brain,
was-
let's start with the poop
Okay.
tier.
Let's do it because this was one of the hardest lineups ever, but the bottom was easy. So A's, White Sox, Rockies. That's my poop tier right now.
That's what I have. A's, White Sox,
Yay!
Rockies. Yeah. Yeah, the white or the Athletics have shown their true colors and are
Mhm.
not. Like that's the thing that's so weird. I can't figure out that team. Right?
Neither
Like,
can
so
they.
much hope for that
That's
team
the
to be
thing.
like
That's
I know, for them to be like, yeah, we're spoilers, and then now they're just losing every game. And
well,
they're
and it doesn't help that Luis Severino is like, it's like pitching in a AAA park here. But when he pitches away,
It is,
he doesn't
though.
do well anyway. It doesn't matter.
You're right. I think that's a problem that we knew they were going to have anyway, though, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but come on now. You have a leg to stand on if you'll perform anywhere else.
Well, yes, if their home road splits were something to look at, then yes, but it hasn't been the case, unfortunately, for them.
Nope. Right.
So
Everybody else feeling pretty good about it.
they really are, and I think the fans did like it when Aaron Judge went and launched home runs, right? Because that's what the
Suppose.
owner said was going to happen.
They did some of it. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about my Yankees right now. It's a very dark place to be right now. So
We'll
stop.
get there. We'll get there. All right, let's go to the
Okay,
thumbs
thanks.
down tier.
All right, thumbs down. Twins, Angels, Braves, Marlins, Orioles, Royals, Pirates, Nats. Not in that order.
Okay. I think I'm probably along the same lines there because in a different order, I have the Marlins, Nats, Pirates, Rangers, Orioles, Braves, Royals, Twins. Is that everybody you had?
No, not quite. The Rangers are not in this group for me.
Okay. All right.
Who did you sub in there instead?
I had the
Nats,
Rangers.
Pirates, Royals. Do you have the Royals? Are the
No,
Royals
I
in
do.
your...
Yeah, I have the Royals in there. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, who is it? Braves?
I have the Braves. I have the
Well, who-
Orioles.
Yeah, me too.
You said that you didn't have the Rangers though, right?
My Rangers are in a different spot.
Yeah, who do you have in place of the Rangers?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Twins, Angels,
that's-
Braves.
Go fish.
You got, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, let's do this. Twins, Angels, Braves. Do you have all those?
I don't have the Angels. That's what it is. It's the Angels.
Got it.
Okay.
I knew we'd find it. You go fish.
Yeah, we get there.
Okay. Okay, so then justify the Angels. Why are they not
I'll get there with the
here
question
in a
marks here.
minute?
I will
Okay.
justify having the Rangers there. How's that?
Tell
the
me
Rangers
about the Rangers.
don't have any bullpen at all. I watched them this weekend, and I'm shocked, legitimately shocked that they should have beat the Mariners 3 times this weekend. They should have swept them. Okay, but the problem that they have is that their bullpen was giving up runs in extra innings. They gave up a run. Let's see, they lost the 12th, the 10th. No, yeah, the 12th, the 10th, I believe, and then the 12th again. They won on the 10th, sorry, and that was they gave up a run, but then they came back and got it because I think Corey Seager saved their butts, if I remember right. But on a team like the Mariners that are either scoring 10 runs or no runs,
Right.
like you should be able
Yeah.
that team should be able to beat them. The offense is not good. You have like 3 guys in that order who you're like, okay, like they're probably gonna do something, but
Yeah.
not always, right? Corey Seager is really
Yeah.
legitimately the only guy in that order who you're afraid of. Okay,
Yeah.
but there's nobody else there.
Their pitching staff, though. Like, you're
Their
only looking at
starting
one
pitching,
side of the thing.
the
Yes, not
starting
their
pitching's
bullpen.
good, yeah. No,
Yeah,
not
you're
the
right.
bullpen. That's
Yeah.
1/3 of the equation, Brig. That's like, but
Well, I
that to
know.
me is like looking at a team like an NFL team and be like, their defensive line is good, yeah, but their safeties suck. They don't have an offensive line. Their special teams are
Right.
horrendous,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're not
It's such a
wrong.
small part of it because especially since pitchers are really only going 5, 6 innings, maybe 7. What else are you gonna do? So I didn't like what I saw out of the Rangers this weekend. How's that? And I feel like that's
Well,
been
that
what I've
makes
seen from them all season.
that makes perfect sense. But let me tell you why the Los Angeles Angels, or the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, whatever the hell they call themselves these days, the reason I cannot justify putting them any higher is because their success is reliant on the Mariners' ill-fated games. If the Mariners were performing the way we need them to, should be, expect them to, then the Angels wouldn't be in a running for a wild card spot, even at this stage in the situation. Like, no, it is not because they're good. It is because the rest of the division is helping them. That's all it is.
Well, I'll tell you this, Brig, though. Like you don't get 2 games out of the wild card just because of your division. Like they are winning games that they maybe shouldn't. I mean, they're losing games they should win, right?
Right. Well,
But that's why they're hovering around 500 though. Like
yes.
I
I will tell
I don't
you,
know. I'll get more
they
of the Angels in a minute.
they are 16-8 in one-run games. And when they go into extras, they're 6-1. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying I'm not buying it. I'm waiting
Okay.
for the "I told you so" moment because I'm not buying it. I think that what the Rangers have is better by about 3 centimeters than what the Angels have. And
Okay.
for that, because I'm constrained to 8 slots, I chose the Rangers moving up and the Angels moving down. That's why.
Okay. That works
Okay.
for me. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like everybody else is pretty much worthy of being in the thumbs down. I told you so,
Yes.
by the way, with the Twins.
Yes,
Just-
you did. Yes, you
I'm gonna
did.
take a victory lap on that one.
You absolutely should. Curtain call, tip your cap. You owned it.
He
Start
tipped
to
his hat
finish.
like this.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Absolutely. Okay, question
All
mark
right.
here. Go ahead.
Mayor, let's do it. Yes or no. Okay, I'll say a team. You say yes or no. Okay.
Okay.
Mariners,
Yes.
Blue Jays.
Yes, but they're at the top of my question mark tier.
I know, and it's confusing. That's why question mark. How about
That's why
the
they're there.
Reds?
Yeah.
D-backs,
Yes.
Red Sox,
Yes.
Cleveland's baseball club,
Yes.
and the Brew Crew. That's the one that we're going to disagree on.
It is because I have the Cards instead.
Yep, I knew you would.
Yeah. So
It's fair.
tell me about. So real quick though, the D-backs. I think the D-backs have themselves in the question mark tier. To be completely honest with you, like the league has been looking at the D-backs and been like, okay, they've got a lot of injuries. They're in that division, tough NL. Probably not going to make a wild card. So who do we want from them? The D-backs are like, should we get ready to sell? Do we need to buy to get us over the hump and get a wild card spot? Like the D-backs are in a really weird spot right now, and I'm here for it. Like this is such high drama. This is a lot of fun to
Yeah.
watch.
It is high drama. Yeah, I do like that.
So there's that. Like I said, Blue Jays are at the top of my question mark tier because they have fewer question marks than anybody in this list.
Who's that? Who did you say?
The Blue Jays.
Yeah, fewer question marks.
Yeah.
Which
And
to me is out
they
of
could find
nowhere.
themselves. I think they could find themselves potentially in the heart tier, or they could find themselves back with everybody else in the question mark tier next month.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's the reason they're here for me. The Blue Jays are
Yeah.
like, wait, what? And then hold on, how come? But wait, last time, that's why. You see
And that's
what I did
all
there?
reasonable. Yeah, I saw exactly what you did there. So the Angels for me, Brig,
Yeah,
I
tell
don't
me.
think Ron Washington was a problem. I just feel like this team has found a second gear, but I don't know if it's sustainable for
Yeah.
the Angels.
It's fair.
Like, they're playing pretty decent ball, and I think part of it is they've kind of done some shuffling, moved some guys around, and I think that happened before Wash took his leave, right? I think things are
Mhm.
headed in the right direction, but I could very well see this team back in the thumbs down tier for me next month. But
Yeah.
right now, the way that they've been the last couple weeks, I'm like, okay, you piqued my interest, right?
Sure.
By no means will they ever get the top half of the question mark tier, but they've moved themselves out of the thumbs down for me because they're playing better
That's
ball
fair.
now than they have been the rest of the year. And Mike Trout's
Yeah.
back, so maybe that's why.
They do go the way he goes.
Just his presence, not even the way he goes, just his presence. He
You're
could hit
right.
$150 and they'd be playing better than they would be with him not in the lineup.
100%. Yeah, and that's confusing.
Mm-hmm. All right, heart tier.
Heart tier. Oh boy, here we go. This is where for me things got really sticky. Like really, really hard to justify. This is where I got my Yankees, I got the Mets, the Phillies, Cardinals, Giants, Rays, Padres, and Astros. Oh, I'm going to take some heat for this. I got it. I know.
Can I real quick? Can we go back to the question mark tier? I wanted to talk about the Mariners for a minute.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Because, Brig, we're like halfway through the season. I have no idea who this team is. I don't think they know who this team is. And
Cal
I
Raleigh
think,
knows who he is. That's it.
well, he knows who he is. And Julio is putting the bat on the ball way better than he has the last like year and a half. But he's topping everything, so he's not like really hitting anything hard. But to me, Brig, the problem with this team is Justin Hollander, the general manager.
I was like, what? Yeah.
The general
Yeah.
manager. So I just want to look at something real quick here.
Okay.
The Seattle Mariners, they broke the drought, ended the drought, right, with a Cal Raleigh walk-off home run actually in 2022.
Yep.
And then so they finished that season 90 and 72, then they went 88 and 74 in 2023, 85 and 77 in 2024.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they're on pace to finish with fewer than 85 wins this season. Okay? That's stepping back every single year. And it has not been like they didn't look like an 85 win team last year. They didn't look like an 88 win team the year before that. And this year they certainly most days do not look like an 82 or 83 win team. And it's because the way they're put together. And last year you heard it a ton. We're just trying to score one more run than the other team.
Right.
It's not a way to win in baseball.
No,
You cannot
you
be
don't
like,
win
okay,
big
we
that
just want to
way.
win. We just got to win, scoring 4 runs a game. No, you're not going to do that because your pitching is not reliable every single day. Okay?
Yeah.
Justin Hollander, I feel like, puts together this team based on analytics, Moneyball type stuff, right? Where he's like, well, you put the sum of these parts together, they should be fine. Well, you've got Donovan Solano, who's way past his prime, and the shortest first baseman probably in the history of the game at 5'8". And that's what he's listed at, Brig. He might be 5'7" or 5'6", right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't
It's
put a
funny.
dude who's listed at 5'8" at first base. I'm sorry. That's not big league
pretty
baseball.
tough.
That's not big.
It's pretty
That's
tough.
not big league first base. It is. And then you've got Ben Williamson, who I like at third base. The dude is nails at third base, and they said when they brought him up that he's known for his glove, not for his bat. Fine. Okay. Good.
But what are you going to do to surround
But-
him with the right people? That's the question.
Right, because you're not. Because you're still trotting Mitch Garver out there. Yes, he hit the go-ahead home run against the Rangers on Sunday, but he still is not the guy you're paying $15 million to be. Like, sometimes you just got to suck up the money and you got to get rid of a guy, right?
Sure.
Like, and to me, and this is the problem I have with with Justin Hollander is that he sees his guys go on stretches like this. He sees Donovan Solano have a good road trip and be like, see, look, this is what we brought him in for. This is what he's gonna do. This is what he's capable. No, it's a good stretch. He got hot. Mitch Garver
Yeah.
had a good day at the plate yesterday. This is not who Mitch Garver is anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be he's not your everyday DH. He is a backup catcher who had a good day at the plate. And you're overpaying him grossly. You have Jorge Polanco, who you don't know if he's going to be healthy day to day, right? And has been an absolute black hole sometimes in the lineup. And there are days, yes, he has a great day, but again, maybe he just got hot. We don't know. There are far too many question marks on this team, and Justin Hollander feels like he hits those. It feels like he hits those hot spots and is like, "This is what they're gonna do." No. It's a hot streak. He has not put together a consistent day-to-day lineup that can win, and it's like he takes his losses and said, "No, he'll come around." And then he points to his wins every single time,
Right?
And that's the way he's built this team. And they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs this year if they don't make 2, maybe 3 significant moves to make this team better. And a lot of people call for Jerry DiPoto because he was the GM who built the team to get to the playoffs.
Right.
Hollander was promoted the day after. It's his team now. Yep. It is his team, and it's his fault that this team has gone backwards every year and will continue to go backwards until he figures out what he's doing or they get rid of him. Anyway, the Mariners don't know who they are, and it's his fault. That's why they're in my question mark too. Sorry. Back to your heart, Brig. Thanks for
that's fine. I just want to justify the Cardinals for a second. I understand why you would put the Brewers ahead of the Cardinals. I understand, but to see the steady rise that the Cardinals have made in such unexpected ways since the beginning of the season, even since a handful of weeks ago when we thought Arenado was going to be traded no matter what, it doesn't look that way anymore. They have steadily out-homered almost every other team recently. And so I'm thinking whatever is in the wooder is working. So let's keep it working. Now, that's not to say the Brewers don't have what it takes and isn't working, because they are too. I just am stuck with 8 slots. And who was I going to move down so that I could put them both up here? I wanted it to be the Rays, but I can't justify moving the Rays out of this spot because the Rays are killing it right now. It makes no sense. And I think it's because of this road thing that's going on. These games that they get to run away with. I think their bats have come to play.
Gap. The Rays have closed the gap, Brig. They're a game and a half back going into Monday.
I know. I'm saying that they've turned something on. Their bats are awake. Some of their pitching is back. It's icky for the American League East right now. All the way around. It got really tense over the last 10 days. And it was not tense until 10 days ago. 2 weeks ago.
Well, it's wild because the Rays have a couple of young guys.
Yeah.
Got Junior Caminero and Chandler Simpson. Not to be trifled with.
Oh, no. No, you're absolutely right. And there's 7 there's 7 wins out of their last 9 road games or something like that. It's just makes baseball family. This is a previously recorded episode. All these numbers we should know.
Somebody's looking.
You're listening
Sunday
on
like,
Sunday and you're like,
talking about?
Yeah. We should maybe make that clear right at the beginning. But as of right now, I love what I'm seeing from the Rays, despite them being a division rival, and I think they're doing better than the Brewers, and I think the Cardinals are doing better than the Brewers as well. And I'm going to live to regret that. Probably by Sunday when this comes out, I will further regret putting the Brewers above the Cardinals. I expect that to happen, but we'll see.
Mostly, like you said, as of Monday, mostly I took the Brewers and kept them because I had the Cards in my heart here.
Yep.
So they're at the top there with the Blue Jays.
Yep.
But the tiebreaker for me, because I had to move the Cards down, I had to move somebody down because I forgot to put somebody in the heart who belonged there. Was their last 10. The Brewers are 8-2. The Cards are 7-3. That was the tiebreaker for me.
There you
But
go.
the Cards, like,
Steady
great.
improvement, man. They're playing great right now.
Mm-hmm. Trending
Yep.
upward. So my heart at Padres, Giants, Cubs, Phillies, Brewers, Yankees, Rays, Mets. The Mets have not been playing well lately, but they're still the Mets.
Neither has
So
the
that's
Yankees.
fine. And right. Yeah. It's a bad stretch. Everybody has a bad
Can I
stretch.
talk
But
about
when
the Yankees for a minute?
let me say one thing about the Cubs.
Fine.
I'm concerned about their pitching. That's it. Okay, go ahead.
That's fair. That's fair. They're not in my heart tier, but we'll talk about it. Okay, Aaron Judge, prior to, I guess it's now Sunday, back this last Sunday, was 9 for his last 51.
What's he batting, like 390?
No, he's now in the 366 range, right? Yeah, he came down to 390. Shut up. So he was batting 176 over the last 52 at-bats or whatever it was, 60 at-bats. He only had 2 home runs in there, and he struck out every single time almost. It's really bad. So he's hitting this really, really rough patch that is honestly making Cal Raleigh's bid for the AL MVP a little closer than it ever should be. And it's disgusting because Cal Raleigh is great, but in almost every other offensive category besides home runs, Aaron Judge still runs away with it. So the fact that he's had this real crazy slump and all these Mariners fans, sorry, Brad, they're all hot and bothered about Cal Raleigh being an AL MVP candidate. Yeah, candidate. He's going to be assistant to the general manager.
I mean, let's be real, Brig. If you look at the complete player all around,
yeah,
who are you going to give it to?
Aaron Judge is the more complete.
Give it to Judge. You can't give it to Judge. He does not have near the defensive impact that Cal Raleigh has.
He
on
doesn't
that team.
have near the defensive opportunities. If we're going to call it straight across the board,
opportunistic by position, Brig.
That's not anybody's
Aaron Judge
fault.
has a short porch in right field. Cal Raleigh does not have that.
It's not short when Judge is there. He's reach up and flick stuff out of the air.
Yeah, routine fly balls sneak their way out of the right field. But Cal Raleigh is managing a pitching staff.
I know.
And playing defense.
I know how catchers work. You don't have to compare a catcher to a right fielder by position. I know how that goes. I'm just saying that if he turns this around.
That's where the argument comes from. Comes from.
But if he turns this around, it will be a lock. Aaron Judge was going to win the MVP. If he turns this around, if he takes the rest of the season and goes at 176, then no, Cal Raleigh will run away with it. But right now, it's Aaron Judge's MVP to lose.
Well, it's because he wears pinstripes.
You're damn right he does. Yep.
All right.
And I love what Cal Raleigh's doing, but no, it's not his to win. It's Aaron Judge's to lose.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
And I would agree with you and I think a big part of it is because Aaron Judge plays on the East Coast for the Yankees.
It doesn't matter.
I think if Aaron Judge played on the East Coast, if he played for the Rays, he would have an edge over Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. If he was a Mariner and Cal Raleigh was a Yankee, Aaron Judge would still win the MVP.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
Brig, I've been watching the Mariners my entire life and lived on the West Coast my entire life. East Coast bias is absolutely a thing.
I know it's a thing. That's why we're better than you.
In
so it's
every
fine.
sport.
It's right.
All right, let's
fine.
go to the diamond tier.
Is this where you put the Astros?
I did.
Yeah, tell me why.
Okay, I'm telling you, man, and I've been saying it all year. Not all year, but not early enough. Until they prove me otherwise. They belong at the top of the division. They belong in the top 3 teams of Major League Baseball. Because this is the thing. Watching the Mariners this weekend, it's like, yeah, Mariners won today. Gosh, dang it, so did the Astros.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Shoot, the Mariners lost today. Well, fortunately, the Astros lost today, but we're still down 6.5 games. Like, the Astros are consistently one of the best teams. Now, Jeremy Pena is going to miss some time with a fractured rib. Who knows what's going to happen during that and after, because what kind of effect is that going to have on him the rest of the way? We don't know. However, we haven't seen much of Jordan Alvarez this year. So, I don't know, man. The Astros just, they figure it out. Hunter Brown is unreal. Framber Valdez is unhittable for whatever reason, despite barely throwing 90 miles an hour. So
it's crazy.
It's absurd. It is absurd. I have the Dodgers and the Tigers here as well.
Yeah, for me, it's Dodgers, Tigers, Cubs. And the Cubs edge it out because they're only back one game. If you look at their record side by side, it's only a one-game difference, and I like that the Cubs have been more consistent than the Astros have been since the beginning of the season. So I think we see what their rotation struggles with at this point. I think we see where the Astros rotation is working really well. So if you're talking about two sides of the same coin, that's how this is between the Astros and the Cubs. It's like where one team does something well, the other team maybe struggles in that area. And it's not all the way up and down that way, but I think what's going to happen is that Imanaga is going to come back and it's going to light things up, turn it around, and it'll be just fine.
You're probably right. And if I could put 4 teams in my diamond, the Cubs would be there.
And so the Astros.
Because that's what I looked at it and I was like, I had the Cubs there and I was like, well, wait a minute though.
Yeah.
Because Dodgers and Tigers are a lock. And I think for me, it's just the Astros because I pay so much attention to them all the time.
That makes sense.
That's
justifiable.
What do you do? What do you do against that team?
I don't know what you do. And I don't know why it doesn't matter who the manager is. And I don't know why it doesn't matter who's really on their starting rotation. And I don't know why it doesn't matter who the shortstop is. I don't know. It makes no sense. Because none of those things seem to matter.
It doesn't matter who the GM is. It doesn't matter who the manager is. It doesn't matter who's playing shortstop. I think what matters is you've got Jose Altuve leading that team.
Do you think that, well, that's been the only consistency?
The only consistency. Legitimately, Brig, the only consistency from end to end of this run
manager,
that they've
shortstop,
made. That maybe we need to wait for him to
staff.
retire, and that's when the Astros will finally fall off. Because guys listen to him, and we know guys listen to him. Guys are willing to take to their grave whether or not if he was part of the cheating scandal, guys are going to take that to their grave for him.
They are.
Right?
There's a lot of loyalty there. Yeah.
And if he didn't, then good on him. But man, he is a leader, and I think that that's the difference. I think that's what it is. That he's established a culture in that clubhouse, and it is persistent, and it is winning, and it is unbeatable. Not just winning, it's unbeatable.
It's confusing.
Wild.
But it's all right.
Yeah. Anyway, baseball family, let us know what you think about our emoji tiers. If you want to drop some down in the comments on YouTube or shoot us an email, baseballtogetherpod@gmail.com. We will look at it, and if you want us to share it, we can share it on the show. That'd be fun. If not, then that's cool too. But thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you can. Head over to schnookseatery.com. Use code BTPOD to save 10% off your order. Always and forever, the best seeds ever. Support your mouse, support your wallet, and support the show all at the same time. Baseball family, thank you again for joining us. We will catch you on Tuesday.